On June 24th, 2011 is the day that the stars aligned, fate intervened. I will never forget this day. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Raven. Thanks for stopping by. Today's video is going to be another story time video. Now, like I told you guys before, I have tons and tons of concert stories. And this one right here is probably number one. The greatest thing that has ever happened to me at a concert. And it's probably top 5 overall greatest things that has ever happened to me. As you can tell by this title, this is going to be an interesting one. So if you want to know what led up to this, then stay tuned. A little backstory, as always. I have been a Backstreet Boy fan since the time I was in 5th or 6th grade. Still am to this day. I still listen to their music on a pretty decently regular basis. I'm not ashamed of it. I still buy their albums, and I will always keep the Backstreet pride alive. But this particular story is going to be about the one and only time that I saw the Backstreet Boys live in concert. It wasn't even the whole Backstreet Boys, because this is still when Kevin was on his break from the group. His leave of absence, or whatever you want to call those years. It was the summer of 2011. The Backstreet Boys and the New Kids on the Block were doing a North American European tour called the NKOTBSB tour. Now, I am not a member of the Lord, I can't even say it, of the NKOTB fan club. I wasn't really into music when they were at the height of their success. The two friends that I could convince to go with me to the concert, Melissa and Sarah, were both huge New Kids fans. So I just had to deal with that. I didn't have anything against them. I just really only know like 1 or 2 of their songs. The day the tickets went on sale, which was probably 2 or 3 months, I think it was in March or April, I was sitting at the computer constantly refreshing the Ticketmaster page. They were pretty decent seats. I don't remember how much we paid for them. So the day comes, or the weekend comes for us to go. Me and Melissa are driving down. We convinced my parents to go to Lafayette for the weekend to visit some of my dad's family members. And then they dropped us off with Sarah and her boyfriend at the time, who we all went out to eat, and then he drove us to the show so we wouldn't have to worry about parking. I would love to tell you that things went off without a hitch, but this is my life and that's not what happened. When we got to the show and walked in the doors, the security guard was not going to let us in because I had my Nikon D3000 camera and my 50 to 200 millimeter lens, which he deemed a professional quality camera. And I was like, are you kidding me? Like, no offense, but that's not what this is. And he said, well, it's because you have that zoom lens. And I said, what do you want me to do with it? I can't leave it out here. We didn't drive. So we had to wait outside for Sarah's boyfriend to come back so that I could give him my camera because it had a zoom lens. But needless to say, we got that taken care of. It just took an extra 30 minutes to deal with. We finally get in there to our seats. The opening act was Jordan Sparks, and she was fine, but she was not the reason any of us were there for the show. So then the lights go down, and it is finally time to fulfill a wish I have had since I was 11 years old. See the Backstreet Boys in concert. Alright, so the show is wonderful, and the way it works is they come out, they do a song all together, everybody from both groups, and then they break off and they do sets of their own from their own music catalog.
You better tonight. Come on! Am I original? Am I the only one? Am I sexual?
And they take turns, they'll do 1 or 2 songs and then go back, and the other group will come out, and it's just back and forth, back and forth. About 2/3 into the show, we see security guards start lining up on different walkways and stairs around the Cajun Dome. So we're like, what's going on? Then we realize, okay, somebody's coming down these steps. Oh boy. So you can just feel the tension in the room start to rise when people realize, okay, People are going to be walking down by us. Who is it going to be? You know, like what? Everybody is ready. So the tension just jumped. You could literally feel the tension rise in the room. New kids are finishing up their set. The security guards are like posted up, ready to go. I'm a sign person, okay? When I go to shows, I like to have a little poster. To this day, I still do it. Not the big, huge, you know, full-size poster boards, but I like a nice little 8x10, you know, just to scribble a little something on. And I had taken a sign to this particular show, and I'm not going to tell you what it says yet. We'll get to that. At one point during the show, the Backstreet Boys were up on the circle portion of the stage, which had been lifted up, and they were performing a song, and I held my sign up, and I promise you, promise, I made eye contact with AJ. He saw my sign, and then about 30 seconds later, the girl behind me got mad, and she said, "Excuse me, can you put your sign down? I can't see." Bruh, they're above your head. I don't know what, can you not look up? But the sign was in her way, so I put it down and didn't worry about it the rest of the time. Until, okay, we realized that the Backstreet Boys are going to be coming down the stairs directly beside the opening of our aisle. Now, there's only like 5 people on these rows, 5 or 6 people on these rows. We're in the middle. The anticipation has built. The lights are down already. Well, about the time the lights start coming up and we realize, okay, the Backstreet Boys are coming out. This is it. I'm going to be as close now as I will ever be to a Backstreet Boy. And we look up. Guys, I do not know if I conjured up all the goodwill and good fortune and, you know, good energy that will ever be given to me in my entire life. But somehow the stars aligned, the moon was in Jupiter, all the good astrological terminology you want to use aligned, came together, and Nicholas Jean Carter was coming down our aisle. Nick Carter was coming down our aisle. All the aisles in the venue of all the members of Backstreet Boys, Nick Carter was walking down the steps beside our aisle. Now just let that sink in for a moment. There are 4 members of the Backstreet Boys. There are numerous aisles in the Cajun Dome. But that one man came down that one aisle, and I was there. So we see the blonde start making their way out. And if that wasn't enough good energy, one of the girls sitting on the end of the row on the aisle in front of us turned around, looked me dead in my eye, and said, "Do you want to come stand right here?" Guys, I do not know what I did to deserve that turn of fate. I might have jumped over those seats. So she was standing right here, and she scooted over just enough that I could like stand. If you obviously if you go to a concert, the seat will fold up. So she was standing right here, and then I was kind of like standing in where her seat would be if it was pulled down. I do not know why this girl asked me this. I mean, like, we had smiled at each other during the show, but we hadn't carried on like some long conversation. We just shared the general excitement that any normal Backstreet Boy fan would be at a long-awaited concert. I've got my sign. I can see Nick coming down the stairs. Y'all, my heart is beating so fast, okay? I do not know how to explain to you adequately enough the amount of excitement that I have with how close I'm about to be standing to Nick Carter. I don't know why this is what I thought. I didn't even hesitate when I made a sign, but this is what I came up with. I'm turning red now thinking about this, but I thought "Marry Me, Nick" would be a wonderful idea because at the time he was still single. I was not going to propose to an already married man. That's just rude. I've got my sign. I'm standing there. I'm giddy. Now what you're about to see is an actual progression of pictures that Melissa and Sarah took while Nick was coming down the stairs, okay? Like, I was so pumped that I was about to be standing mere inches away from Nick. I didn't even think to bring the camera and, like, take pictures of him coming down the aisle. But Melissa and Sarah are my ride or dies, and they had my back covered. So this is Nick coming down the aisle. All of us fangirls are going crazy. Everybody's got cameras up waiting to see. This picture right here is when Nick is about 3 steps away from me. And I don't know if you can really see this, but if you zoom in, you can see Nick's eyes reading my sign. Okay? This is me freaking out when I realize that Nick Carter is reading my sign. This is me proposing to Nick Carter. This is Nick Carter giving me a hug after I proposed to him. By the way, I just want this to be a point of record. Nick had not hugged or touched anybody other than to give him a high five on the way down. I did not reach for him. He reached down to give me a hug. And guys, it was literally like a choir of angels was singing. 12-year-old Raven, if she had known this was going to happen, she might have led a completely different life. 12-year-old Raven could not fathom the idea that she would ever get to touch, let alone get a hug from, and make a proposal to her childhood teen idol, okay? Now this next picture, guys, this is me truly giving you a glimpse into who I am, okay? Please look at my face after he hugged me. I was literally in the middle of turning around and screaming at Melissa and Sarah, oh my God, Nick Carter just hugged me. This is true and utter bliss on my face. This is pure joy. This is 15 years of loving your teen idol worth of excitement coming across in my face. I don't even know. And then after that, everybody just started jumping on him. I kind of felt bad for him, guys. And then the poor girl the poor girl who invited me over there, he had already turned the other way. He didn't even really get to look at her. I kind of felt bad about that. In this picture is me composing myself. I might have been crying slightly a little bit because, guys, younger me who spent all these years as a huge Backstreet Boy fan could never have imagined that something that cool would happen. I still, to this day, do not know how to explain, can't fathom the amount of things that had to align for me to be at that show on that aisle with him coming down that particular one. I just don't know. It made my little Backstreet Boy heart happy. I mean, guys, this is probably top 2 or 3 coolest things that have ever happened to me, let alone at a concert. That's the story of how I proposed to a Backstreet Boy. He didn't say yes, but I did get a nice hug, and I'll take that. So, if you guys have any cool concert stories, make sure you leave them for me down below in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a huge thumbs up. And as always, if you are not subscribed to my channel, make sure that you hit the subscribe button and turn on that notification bell so you can be notified the next time that I upload. I will see you guys next time. Bye.
I want to see all the